New England is a region in the United States well known for its peculiar weather. You can have one day where it's 90 degrees and time to go to the beach, and the next is 40-degree sweater weather. This unique fluctuation in weather prepares railroads, like the MBTA, for anything. So, how does the MBTA anticipate and operate their trains in New England weather? On a yearly basis, the MBTA will typically face 4 different kinds of nature-related events. There are heavy snowstorms in the winter, thunderstorms in the spring, hurricanes with heavy winds in the summer, and fallen leaves in autumn. All 4 of these phenomenons merit their very own fascinating methods of prevention by the MBTA, and I have been fortunate enough to see one of these in action. Let's start in late summer of 2023. A Category 1 hurricane by the name of Lee is posing a large threat to the Metro Boston area. With wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour and heavy spurts of rain, the commuter rail must be prepared to face fallen tree limbs in the right-of-way or washouts. For this storm, the MBTA has equipped 3 in-service trains with what I like to call hurricane sets. 2 of these sets consist of a locomotive on each end, and one of the sets is flipped to have the cab car facing outbound instead of its normal inbound side. But what does this do? Well, the logic behind this is that on the first train of the day, when the tracks have not been checked for fallen trees for about 5 hours, the MBTA would rather have a resilient locomotive hit an object instead of a cab car. Also, they would rather have a cab car hit something going away from Boston, because then the locomotive will be positioned in a way that would make it easy for them to return the train back to the maintenance facility. Hopefully that all makes sense. Anyways, the night before the hurricane hits, I am at West Medford Station, awaiting the arrival of the 7:06 p.m. train with one of the hurricane sets. A magnificent sunset may be a good sign for our sailor friends. As they say, pink sky at night, sailors delight. Pink sky in the morning, sailors take warning. The 1120 on the back is providing engine power to the train, while the 1056 up front is providing head-end power and electricity. I know this because the head-end power generator is what gives GP40MCs, like 1120, their iconic roar. So the lack of noise coming from 1120 is quite uncharacteristic. The next morning, I find myself in the middle of Hurricane Lee, which ended up just missing Massachusetts. I deemed it safe enough to go to North Station to see the MBTA's other type of hurricane set. The moment I arrived at the station, I could tell something was up. Seeing and hearing a locomotive so close to the doors at North Station is very strange to begin with. On this set, rebuilt locomotive 1126 is on the end. On the north end is CTC-1B cab car number 1632. This completely authentic North Side cab car is one of the last of its kind. These cab cars are growing increasingly rare as the MBTA's new Rotom cab cars continue to arrive rapidly on the property. Keep an eye out for a video detailing this change in the coming weeks. So my point is, seeing this happen with one of these cars is pretty neat and super weird. Check out as a normal train leaves on the adjacent Track 3. This Hurricane set is certainly an outlier at North Station. Would you be surprised to learn that this is actually the way it used to be on the MBTA? Well, when the MBTA's first batch of F40s, also known as Screamers, arrived in the late 1980s, they received constant complaints from customers, claiming they got hearing damage from having to walk by those wailing locomotives to get onto their train. The MBTA eventually took action and changed the orientation of all trains on all lines to have the locomotives face outbound instead of inbound. At 1:20, our Hurricane set began boarding for Haverhill Line train 1207. And by 1:30, our train is off to Haverhill. And with that train marks the end of this video. So until next time, I will see you all again soon, out there on the rail.